What's up, gamers? Hi, Guardians, and hello, Internet. Here is This Week in Destiny for Thursday, July 13th in the Lord year of 2023. This Week in Destiny is delivered to us by Sam. What's up, Sam? Happy Twids Day, Guardians. This Week in Destiny, we have a save the date, a mid-season preview with some Crucible info, the winner of our Witherhoard community vote, and more. Let's get started with what we talked about last week and then get into the new stuff. Last week we had Bungie Day info. We shared an important cutscene, mid-season weapon tuning preview, final iron banana reminder, new exotic fish pins, Witherhoard ornament voting. This week we have Bungie Day Giving Festival information, mid-season preview, now with Crucible updates, Witherhoard ornament winner, season 21 exotic catalyst info, Solstice starts next week, fishing derby winners, player support report, art of the week and movie of the week winners, showcase save the date, and hung jury reminders. Bungie Day Giving Festival, prize week, and last call for emblems. The Bungie Day Giving Festival enters week 2, and the Bungie Foundation has some exciting things in store. But first, we are making the last call on emblem submissions for the Bungie Day Giving Festival emblem competition. So again, if anyone out there is interested in submitting an idea for an emblem, now is your opportunity to do so before it expires. Submissions are due by 12 a.m. Pacific time tonight, July 13th. So you're down to the wire. Full details on the contest can be seen here. There's a link on their website. And don't forget to tag your art with hashtag emblematic. Now on to the goodies. Prize week kicks off today, and the first item up for grabs is signed Lightfall Collector's Edition. Any donation, minimum $1 of US, received from today, July 13th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, until tomorrow, July 14th at 9:59 a.m. Pacific time, will receive an entry to win today's prize. Each day, we will have a new prize to earn, and you will see the full schedule below. So today, signed Lightfall Collector's Edition. July 14th, Destiny Plush Bundle. July 15th, Drifter Collectible Bundle. July 16th, Lord Shack Statue. July 17th, Barrack Statue. July 18th, Witch Queen Statue. And July 19th, Sony PlayStation Game Code Bundle. So cool prizes there. Don't forget that each day you enter, you will receive an additional entry into the grand prize drawing, meaning you can earn a maximum of 7 entries for the grand prize: a signed Lightfall Collector's Edition, a signed The Final Shape Collector's Edition, a copy of The Final Shape Deluxe Edition, and a PlayStation Game Code Bundle. So there's a lot going on there. Also says for rules for contest entries can be viewed here. Again, there's a link on bungie.net. Maximum 1 entry per day per prize. Only residents of US and Canada, except Quebec, eligible for prizing. Mid-season Crucible update. Here we go. It's not quite time for the mid-season update that's coming next week, July 18th. But today we have 2 patch notes we managed to sneak away with. Fixed a few out-of-bounds spots in various maps. Whisper of Chains reduced damage reduction in PvP from 15% to 5%. Speaking of the Crucible, let's hear from the dev team and see what we have coming up. So it's great that they're putting in these out-of-bound fixes. Whisper of Chains reduced the damage reduction in PvP. PvP mains out there, let me know if this is significant, if this is prompting you to say thank you very much, we've been waiting for this. I don't think it has. I think all the concerns that the community has that involves and focuses themselves on PvP, these are probably two of the last things that they're thinking about. Hi Crucible fans, following on from our Lightfall Crucible blog a few months ago, we have a few updates around Season 21 mid-season. Back when we launched Season of the Deep, we made a couple of tuning changes to the Crucible that missed the patch notes. Many of you have called out the respawning changes. We have some additional changes coming soon, but the second change has gone mostly uncommented upon, so we wanted to let you know what has changed. Respawning changes. We made a number of adjustments to control and clash respawn logic. All Crucible respawn points are evaluated on a number of factors: proximity and sightline to enemy players and owned objectives, as well as proximity to friendly players and owned objectives. Previously in Control and many other objective-based modes, it very strongly weighted friendly objectives good and enemy sightlines proximity bad, with the goal of helping players get back into the action quicker on some of the larger maps and reduce the "I usually spawn in the backfield" feeling in clash style modes. We reduced the importance of friendly objectives and enemy sightlines and increased the importance of friendly players. Ideally, players would spawn near other friendly players, but safely. In testing, this seemed to work well on a variety of maps, but it's hard to replicate the chaos of real 6v6 matches, and as many players noticed, we turned the influence of enemy player sightlines down too far. This causes a number of problems that many players reported. You can often spawn in the middle of a firefight, and spawn trapping is easier on many maps. This also led to a sharp increase in a number of matches ending in a mercy. In the first hotfix after the mid-season patch coming next week, we are going to be increasing the influence of enemy player sightlines and proximity back to where it was before. Ideally, we keep some of the benefits, like spawning nearer to active engagements, without the downsides of spawning in the middle of a fight. We will keep an eye on feedback and analytics over the coming weeks and continue to adjust as needed. Is respawning changes, is this wetting your whistle, PvP community? Please let me know in the comments below. Competitive division matchmaking. The other major change we implemented in Season of the Deep was an adjustment to how we place players in competitive division matches. Previously, as discussed in the blog post here, we matched players purely based on their skill and throttled the amount of division points won or lost based on how far above or below your skill is from your target skill. While pure skill-based matchmaking may produce the fairest matches for players, it also diminishes the experience of climbing the ranked ladder. A player who only just completed their placement series shouldn't immediately face off against the highest or lowest ranked players, regardless of their skill. Thus, in Season 21, competitive 3v3 matchmaking rating, MMR, is calculated on both rank and skill, and the goal being to improve the ladder climbing experience while maintaining competitive integrity and match fairness. So if you are near your target skill, you will match at your rank rather than skill. Okay? We limit how far above or below your target skill you match. So if your skill marks you as an ascendant player, for example, you will never be considered below adept, no matter what your current rank is. The same goes for if you are above your target skill. You will never be considered more than one major rank above your target skill. A few changes we're considering for a future season. Adjusting the rank. Skill limiting so that it doesn't limit at all if you are above your target skill. Loosening up on the division points throttling we do if you are too far above or below your target skill. So for someone who is not an active PvP player, my takeaway from the competitive division matchmaking adjustments that they're doing is that they're trying to put the right players against each other without creating a gap in I'm at this top tier skill level, therefore I shouldn't be playing against people that are significantly below me, and vice versa. So you'll always play within a range of what your skill is, but not exclusively where your skill is. I think they're just trying to lower the disparity, if you will, between really, really good players and really, really bad players matching with each other, and trying to keep people more in the same rank, and also taking into consideration what their skill level is. So that's kind of like my take from it. I want to know what your thoughts are. Please let me know in the comments below. Dynamic skill ranges. Finally, we have a quick update on a feature we discussed in a TWAB a while back. Dynamic skill ranges. This is a feature designed to equalize matchmaking pools during low population times or in low population skill brackets. We built this feature back in season 19, but there were some issues preventing us from turning it on and getting good data. We finally found a window to turn it on at the start of Iron Banner a few weeks ago, and promptly broke all matchmaking, so we immediately turned it back off. We are fixing the bugs and found and doing another round of intense testing on it, but are hoping to redeploy it in a future season. So they're working on this new dynamic skill ranges for when there's a population drop in the player pool. So, you know, they're being transparent here. They are working on things behind the scenes as far as matchmaking, as far as, you know, addressing low population pools. So that's positive. That's all for now, but stay tuned in the coming weeks. We have some exciting reveals coming before season 2. I certainly hope they're exciting reveals, because what I'm reading right now isn't exciting. It's expected at the very least. And I think it's a little too late to really, you know, scratch the, you know, burning, festering itch of the PvP community. Bungie, I think you lost them. I think people that enjoy Destiny and enjoy the gunplay and enjoy PvP will continue to play it, but they're not gonna truly be happy while they're playing it. They're gonna enjoy it for what it is and appreciate it for what it is, but they're still gonna be leaving each match with the feeling of disappointment. But let's see what happens before you know, season 22 with your exciting reveal. Witherhoard winner. Yay, Witherhoard gets its 5th ornament. It's time travel. It's time. It's time to share the winner of community voted ornament for Witherhoard. I'll tell you what, time travel. I wish I could travel back and and like knock on Bungie's door and say, look, don't leave it up to the community to vote on this. And if you are, just don't relegate it to fucking guns, man. You know, put the voting options for things that either don't have an ornament or only have one. You know, don't put in a meta weapon that already has multiple ornaments, because people aren't choosing it because they feel it needs a new ornament. All the current ornaments for Witherhoard are cool, right? And if you never brought up Witherhoard being a candidate for another ornament, people would be like, fine. They wouldn't be going to the socials and slamming you and saying you're neglecting you're neglecting the fashion and the drip of us using Witherhoard. No, people use Witherhoard because it's OP, right? Even after the nerf, the adjustment that was made to it. It's like one of the strongest weapons in the game. It doesn't need another ornament. Now, this ornament looks cool. I mean, you know, like big ups to the individual that created this, right? But overall, as far as the overall fashion in game, there are weapons, there are armor items out there that just don't have an ornament or only have one that deserve more attention. And I think this is representative of like what the big issue is with the studio right now. This is where your priority is. Your priority is in letting us vote on another ornament on a meta weapon. No, this isn't what the community wants, man. I'm sorry. If you guys think different, let me know in the comments below. Regardless, thank you for voting. Make sure you sound off on socials if you want us to keep doing things like this and what weapons you want to see ornaments for. I think I just made my point. We also want to give a shout out to 9 Ribbons for doing such an incredible job on all of these concepts. Make sure you are following her over on Twitter and check out the rest of her work. For an added treat, tune in on Friday for a special edition community focus with the artist herself. All right, that's cool. Good for her. Hadopelagic Tribute. If you are one of the Guardians running around with your wicked implement glued to your side, we have some information for you regarding the Catalyst. When designing Catalyst, our teams aren't there to create something you need to get, but something to entice you to let your weapon achieve its full potential. So, with that, here is some more info from the weapons team themselves. The main thing we wanted to facilitate is getting you into a rhythm with your precision hits. Refilling the magazine when collecting a shard accomplishes that, letting you continue aiming down sights to chain precision damage. But adding mag overflow with the Catalyst lets you extend that even further, especially when picking off red bars in between damaging stronger targets and collecting the shards when they return to you. Being able to potentially slow targets with the primary weapon in the PvP neutral game is already kind of spicy, which is why we tuned the perk so a single target would either be dead or close to it by the time you start slowing them. If you switch targets when outnumbered, however, ... The perk works with any stasis shard though, so if you're running a stasis subclass, you rarely have to reload. We also heard feedback on the base weapon and have a few buffs on the way. Among other things, we were cautious with the timing window for creeping attrition, but we're looking at adjusting that in the future. Keep an eye out for that. This is what people are gonna say. Oh, you know the weapon is shit, so you launched it like that anyway, and then now you're seeing that there's more buffs coming along the way, because for an exotic, it feels very underwhelming, especially if you're not using a stasis subclass. Now again, I'm not saying that. This is just a general vibe that I'm picking up. And yes, posts on social media, Reddit, what have you, that resonate that tone isn't necessarily what is indicative of the majority opinion inside the community. I can just go by from what I've read, from the people that I've spoken to in game, those inside my community, my clan, and those that I've never met before, you know, while I'm live streaming and helping them with Grandmasters or what have you. And I used, since I've got the weapon and I used it exclusively in Grandmasters all of last week, I enjoyed the weapon thoroughly. I don't see how much utility it has outside of using a stasis subclass, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with exotics being niche and being tied, or being optimized when they are synergized with a matching subclass. However, there are times where like creeping attrition didn't really feel needed to be extended a little bit. the basic damage of the gun definitely could have been buffed. Now, I think Bungie has learned the lesson from the past where they don't want to ship things that are extremely overpowered. I think they would prefer to tune things up rather than ship something that's very strong and then go backwards. I understand that philosophy, but Bungie, you are going to be slammed once again for not testing your weapons, because I believe the majority of the community is belly aching about how underwhelming this weapon is as an exotic, and how limiting it is due to what it can do outside of its synergy with a stasis subclass. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is what I heard and what I've spoken with other Guardians. What have you guys heard, and what are the conversations that you've had? Solstice starts next week. I've always liked the Solstice event. Next week, we have Solstice coming back. Team up with others, gather those silver leaves, and celebrate with sweet Ava Levante. It is a party after all. All right, let's get it on with Grandma. Is this your first Solstice? Every year we get together and celebrate our achievements, what civilization will become, and how we will get there. Okay. After chatting with our favorite grandma, Ava Levante, you will head over to the EAZ, European Aerial Zone, and fight against waves of enemies to earn rewards and silver leaves. This is more to it, but that's the TLDR. Get ready to get out there, Guardians. I mean, why not elaborate more on what it is? Like, I don't know. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be the same shit that it was last year, right? And that's fine. I love the armor focus. That was the armor pursuits is what really enticed me to get even more involved. The EAZ is cool. I just wish the EAZ was more representative of like a true horde mode, fighting multiple waves, the enemies getting stronger, you know, if not every wave, every 3, every 5 waves, and just being able to like really push your power and your build as these waves progressed. And honestly, not just something that's exclusive to Solstice in the EAZ, but you know, a dedicated horde mode should be a standard in the game. It should be available for us to either matchmake into, or you know, bring a fire team. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Before the event starts, we want to give you a quick refresher on the basics of how armor upgrading works in Solstice, and tell you a bit about some upcoming changes to Solstice and some new buffs we created. Last year, we streamlined the armor upgrade process for all classes. This year, we worked on the enemy density and overall difficulty of the Bonfire Bash. You will find out that you must work a little harder to light the bonfire. Also, we are implementing 2 new buffs to mix it up even further. Firebound. The buff is only available in Bonfire Bash. When close to a fire team member, gain increased recovery and super regeneration. Flare. This buff is available in Bonfire Bash and Vanguard Ops playlist. Rapidly defeat combatants to unleash waves of paracausal fire around you, dealing damage to nearby combatants. Cool. During Solstice, you can chase down a desired roll on your armor, looking for 100 discipline for the best grenade builds, or are you in the need for some more recovery to have better survivability in Crucible, if anyone's playing Crucible. If you ever wanted to fine-tune, Solstice is your time to shine. Upgrading your Solstice armor requires finding and spending silver leaves, silver ash, and kindling. Here's how to get them. Silver leaves. Earn silver leaves by completing activities throughout the game. Easy enough. Silver ash. Transform silver leaves into silver ash by completing the Bonfire Bash activity. All right. Spend silver ash to reroll armor stats from the armor mod screen. Okay. kindling. Earn kindling by completing Solstice event challenges. Spend kindling to upgrade your armor stat roll potential. Each piece of armor can be upgraded 3 times. Okay. So Silver Ash to re-roll armor stats. It doesn't say that it's limiting, right? So I can re-roll. So if it's at a 60, I can re-roll it to get to a 68. And then kindling to upgrade your armor stat roll potential. Each piece of armor can be upgraded 3 times. I don't know. To me, that sounds confusing. So I can only use kindling to re-roll an armor piece 3 times. And does the RNG allow it to get progressively higher, or can it go up or down? Remember, you only need to do this once per armor slot. Every time you upgrade a piece of Solstice armor, it is permanent and shared across all Solstice pieces for that armor slot. So if you upgrade a helmet all the way to tier 3, every Solstice helmet currently in your inventory and any future helmets you earn for that class can now access tier 3 stat rerolls. Okay. The new Solstice armor sets feature both free and paid glows like previous years. And just like last year, fully upgrading a piece of armor with kindling will cause it to glow. And without further ado, here is the new Solstice armor. All right, before we look at that, so if you want to maximize the stat distribution on an armor piece, it can only be on 3. So you take the class item away and then you have 4. So it can, you either want it to go into your head, arms, chest, or legs, but one of those gear slots are not going to be accessible to tier 3. Okay. So I think you have to say to yourself, okay, all right, is this per class? All right. So if you upgrade a helmet all the way to tier 3, every Solstice helmet currently in your inventory and any future helmets you earn for that class can now access tier 3. All right, so I think what you have to do, Guardians, is say to yourself, what exotic does this character, does this class typically use? Am I using exotics predominantly on the head, on the arms, on the chest, or on the legs? Right? So whatever your main exotic that you use, or multiple exotics that you use, if they share the same slot, let's just say chest armor, right? You always use an exotic chest piece. Then you want to focus your tier 3 into head, arms, and legs, right? And then if you want to upgrade your exotic piece, you're going to have to run Lost Sectors. And if you're curious about Lost Sectors, you can tune into Sloop Gaming YouTube channel, where I have the daily Lost Sector report for exotic engram farming. And I also have various guides for both Legend and Master Completion, solo and solo flawless. So be sure to check that out. And without further ado, here's the new Solstice armor. Looks cool, very Napoleonic. I mean, I dig it. It's not like blowing me away. It's very much in line with what we've seen in the past. And you can see where the glows are. I like how the glows are conservative. They're not like all over the place. I just hope that they're not too conservative. We'll have to see, but they look good, you know. I mean, it's a free event, and I'm sure if you want to go like over the top, you know, then you'll just drop the real legal tender and go to the cash shop. Oh, and here's a little preview of the first ever Strand rocket launcher that will be earnable during Solstice. Okay. I mean, yeah, let's get another weapon type that's Strand in the power slot for sure. We are in a rocket meta, why not? Fishing tournament results. We sent you out with the task of catching fish, and we're pretty sure you caught all of them. Not me. We are so excited to announce the results of the Bungie Day fishing tournament. Our top fisher overall was Arla Duke. Arla Doc. Arla, if you're watching this, let me know the correct pronunciation, please. Thank you. Either in comments here or drop into my live stream on Twitch. With the top score of 660 points, special shout out to Mafia, who not only won. Okay, I think that should be WON, not ONE, who only won the Delta Derby, but also caught the most exotic fish overall with 10. There are also 11 players who can tell big fish stories now that they've caught the maximum sized fishies at a chunky 80 kilograms. Here are the full results. And I'll just read down here. Alpha Derby, Sniff, Umo, and Selvatin. Bravo Derby, with some Asian writing here. 4 symbols, 3 symbols. Then you have Agura 531, Charlie Derby, Winter Rampage, and Eden of Chaos. Delta Derby, Mafia, Genma, and Andy. Echo Derby, Arla Duke, Kind, and Electro Brains. Player support report. Rock ship, best ship. There's no terrible poem writing from me this week, but the player support team is back and ready to share the bugs and known issues we're aware of. No terrible poem writing, but there are a couple typos, just FYI. Emblem ownership reminder. Starting with the launch of Season of the Deep, emblem ownership values were updated for security purposes. Players who have emblems on their account that do not appear in their collections, flare, emblems general, will no longer be able to equip these emblems. And players will no longer be able to see these emblems if they are equipped. Those who are affected by this change will need to reacquire these emblems through proper means by unlocking them in their Bungie.net. Listen, if you use an exploit or cheated or however you want to define it to like beat the activity, I think it's specifically regarding trials, and you basically like cheese the fuck to get there or just blatantly cheated to get there, like, please, right? Don't go to your socials and start saying this is bullshit, right? Like, you're manipulating the fucking game, right? You're either taking advantage of an exploit, a cheese, or just blatantly cheating, right? And especially those that have cheated to get the fucking emblem. If you can't use it now, like, boo-hoo, right? Go fuck yourself if you cheated. Nobody cares. If I even like see an inkling of that, if I'm scrolling, like, you're not getting an impression from me, right? Like, I'm going right by you, bud. And I hope everyone else shares the same sentiment. So, you know, fools like that can just fade away. Additionally, pre-order and collector's edition specific emblems will be restricted to use on the platform that owns those licenses. If you acquired one of those emblems on one platform but are now playing on another platform, you must play on the original platform to use those emblems. Can we use the word platform again, please? Players who have emblems unlocked on their Bungie.net accounts and platforms, ding, 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 are unaffected by this change. All right, let's move on here. Known issues. While we continue investigating various known issues, here is a list of the latest issues that were reported to us in our #help forum. Due to an issue, we have temporarily disabled the utility kickstart armor mod. Fuck. That's like one of the most popular mods, man, right? Okay. The child of the old gods aspect is not providing ability, energy, or health as expected. Sucks for warlocks. Defeating unstoppable champions too quickly during the intro into the PsyOps battleground Moon Nightfall can result in missing revive tokens, as well as players earning a lower than expected reward tier. Why that hasn't been fixed yet, I don't know. I guess that's a real serious issue. Altars of reflection memories may not appear centered when viewed. Some players are unable to acquire the new Trials of Osiris rewards. And by some players, it's the 12 people in the playlist. For a full list of emergent issues in Destiny 2, players can review our known issues article. Players who observe other issues should report them to our #help forum. All right, finishing up here. The Bray sisters and the Kindergarten walk into the tower. Bruno says, "Cool sisters trying to reconnect while saving the world. Yep. Mean grandpa that hates everybody and that is hated by everyone. C. Badass, godlike, war machine stepbrother that speaks with a thick accent. Duh. This would certainly be an amazing anime. Movie of the week, The Bray Sisters by, looks like Pat Garcia. Bonus movie of the week, A Real Kindergarten. Carp Desire Structure. Sam says sometimes the witness brings you knowledge you have been craving. Sometimes all you catch are carp. It's called balance. Art of the week, They Desire Structure. Bonus art of the week, at least it's a carp. This is by Night Sendent. Very cool. And at AnnieV_art. All right, Guardians, that's it for this week's Twid. Well, almost. Two more things. One, we want to remind you that this is the last week Hung Jury is in rotation for Nightfalls. Dead Orbit sure did know what they were doing when they made this weapon, so make sure you go snag one. I mean, okay, you're admitting that you have one gun that is just like way outperforming every other weapon of that class and of that archetype. It doesn't lead to variety, you know, like the Tara Zippos, I think it's basically like modeled after the Hung Jury. It's just the stasis version of it. But like personally, I don't use any other scout rifle, you know, like what's the incentive to do so? I think that's the next step is, well, you know, not nerfing Hung Jury, not even like coming up with a different perk pool, right? Because what the perk combinations of the Hung Jury, what the Tara Zippos do, they do very well, and there's no need for us to deviate from that with the content that's supplied to us. I don't know. I mean, that's why you guys get paid to do what you do. You guys had the foresightedness and the ability to create the Hung Jury. I have all the confidence in the world that you'll be able to create another weapon, scout rifle, what have you, that would be able to have players deviate from using the Hung Jury in the current capacity it is right now and alleviate us crutching on that weapon to do the thing. So fingers crossed. I'm positive, I'm hopeful. I got mad respect for the Bungie studio and all the devs there. Let's see what you guys can do. Discontinuing the weapon, I mean, yeah, you know, if you don't have it by now, I don't know what to tell you. This is the last week to get it. Definitely check on Sloop Gaming on Twitch. We're gonna be running GMs all day tomorrow, Saturday, and let's get that hung jury for you. And second, it's getting closer. The Destiny 2 showcase will be here before you know it. Be sure to tune in to our Twitch or YouTube channel on August 22nd at 9 a.m. Pacific time, or better yet, tune in to Sloop Gaming on Twitch, where we'll be watching the showcase live with our community and everyone else in the Destiny community. And you'll be getting my thoughts, and I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are in chat. Can't wait for it. A lot of people are saying it's make or break. I mean, that's what every streamer and content creator says when Bungie has a showcase or an update. It's a make or break. It's going to determine what's going to happen, but here's newsflash. You're still going to be playing the fucking game, right? I'm still going to be playing it. You're going to be playing it. There's nothing that's going to happen in the showcase, okay, that's going to take somebody that focuses on either playing Destiny full-time or creating content full-time. There's nothing that's going to happen, right, that is going to immediately carve off a third or half the community from ever playing the game again. Sorry, Charlie, ain't gonna happen. I think what's gonna happen is what always does. It's going to bring that hype and bring the hope and show the reveals and just get that guardian juices flowing in you to, power through the rest of the season, because the best is yet to come. And that's the genius of the Bungie marketing machine, is that's how they manufacture all that dopamine from what, from hope and what to expect. Oh, that's going to be fire. Your neurons going to be firing. You're going to be doped up and you're going to be ready to rock and roll. And you'll see a spike in population in Destiny right after that. So that's my thoughts on it. Thank you very much for tuning in to my read of This Week in Destiny for Thursday, July 13th. Be safe, stay vigilant, and as always, may the light protect us all. Peace. Thank you for watching. Likes and shares are very much appreciated, and subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Peace.